Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to simplify indices that involve fractions. Let's see the theory first. We have x as the base to the power of a over b. So the indice is in fact a fraction, a over b. How do we simplify that? And how do we write it in a different format? Very simple. See this. X is the base. We put our square root sign. We have b outside and x to the power of a. b root x to the power of a. That's the theory. Let's look at an example. We have 27 to the power of a third. 27 and the power is a fraction. It's a third. The denominator goes outside the root sign and the numerator goes inside the root sign. So we write it like this. 3 root 27 to the power of 1. The denominator is outside and the numerator is inside. So what does that mean? It means cube root 27 to the power of 1. Put it in your calculator and you're going to get 3. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. It's that simple. Another one. 16 to the power of a quarter. So the indice, the power, is a fraction. 1 over 4. We put 16, our base, in the root sign. The 4 comes out. The denominator goes outside. So it is 4 root 16 to the power of 1. 4 root 16 to the power of 1, which is basically 2. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals to 16. So 16 to the power of a quarter is in fact 4 root 16. The denominator goes outside the root sign and the numerator is inside. 4 root 16 to the power of 1. Another example. 36 to the power of a half. So again, we have an indice, a power, which is a half. 36 to the power of half. How do we write it? We know the denominator goes outside the root sign, so 2 root 36 to the power of 1. 2 root 36 to the power of 1. In our calculator, we can put it in straight away, and we know the answer is 6. Square root 36 is 6. Now, let's do some practical and actually do some on the board to see how we can actually set it out. Okay, let's do some examples now. We have 9 to the power of half. 9 to the power of half. So the power, the indice, is a fraction. So how do we write it? We follow the theory as well. We know that 9 is our base, and we put our square root sign. The 2, which is the denominator, it goes outside, and the numerator goes inside. So square root 9 to the power of 1, which is square root 9. The answer is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. It's exactly the same as 9 to the power of half. So 9 to the power of half, you can even try in your calculator, you're going to get 3. But for us to show you how it's done, we know 9 to the power of half, the denominator goes outside the root sign and the numerator goes inside the root sign. Square root 9 to the power of 1 equals to 3. 81 to the power of a quarter. 81 to the power of a quarter. Same rules. We have our square root sign or our root sign. 81 is our base, it goes inside. The denominator goes outside. So 4 root 81, 4 root 81 to the power of 1. 4 root 81 to the power of 1, which means what number multiplies itself 4 times to get 81? The answer is 3. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 equals to 81. Next examples. 8 to the power of 2/3. The power, the indice is 2/3. Same rules. So we write it, our base, the root sign, and our denominator goes outside. So 3 root 8, and our numerator goes inside to the power of 2. 3 root 8 to the power of 2. So we want to work out the basic answer for this. We know 8 to the power of 2 is actually 64. So cube root 64. What number multiplies itself 3 times? Cube root is looking for a number that multiplies itself 3 times to get 64, to get 8 squared, and our answer is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So 8 to the power of 2/3, the answer is 4. Our denominator goes outside the root sign, and our numerator goes inside the root sign, and we basically work it out. Next one, 125 to the power of 2/3. 125 is our base. We have the root sign. The denominator goes outside. So cube root 125 to the power of 2. Not to forget that. The numerator goes inside. So what number is going to give us the answer here? We know it's going to be 25. You can try it in your calculator. Cube root 125 squared, your answer is 25. That means 125 to the power of 2/3, the answer is simply 25. So the denominator goes outside the root sign, and the numerator goes inside the root sign, and we work it out. Pretty simple. Now let's do some more examples. A to the power of half times a to the power of half. We know that algebra, it actually follows similar and the same rules as numerals as well. So let's see how we're going to do this one. We learned in indices that when we're multiplying indices and the base is the same, what do we do to the indices? We add the indices. So we add equals a, that's our base. Half plus a half is simply 1. So a to the power of 1, which is really just a. So a half times a half, a fraction, and the fraction is in our indices. The base is the same. What do we do to the indices? We add the indices. Half plus a half equals 1, a to the power of 1. This one, m to the power of a third times m to the power of 2/3. Do we have the same base? Yes, we do. We can add the fractions. We can add the indices. A third plus 2/3 is 1 whole. So m to the power of 1, which is simply m. M is the answer. Let's do some more examples. Some more examples now. 5y to the power of half times 3y to the power of half as well. We have fractional indices, but we follow the same index rules, the same laws. 5 times 3, they are numerals, so 5 times 3 is 15. Y is the base. Half, we know it's an indice, times another indice. We know when we are multiplying, we add the indices. So y and half plus a half is just 1, which is 15y. That's our answer, 15y. Next one, 8y, power of 9, all in brackets to the power of a third. All to the power of a third. How are we going to solve this one? We want to simplify 8 to the power of a third. What do? We know we put our 3 outside, that's our denominator, and our base inside, and the 1 is the power there. So the denominator goes outside, and the numerator goes inside the root sign above the base. Which means, what is a number that multiplies itself 3 times to get 8? Cube root 8, 2 times 2 times 2. So our answer is 2. Cube root 8 is 2. Now that's completed. Now we look at y to the power of 9, all to the power of a third. We learn that a power to a power, you multiply. A power to a power, you actually times. So 9 times a third. 9 times a third, when you're timesing a number by a third, you're actually dividing by 3. So 9 divided by 3, the answer is 3. 2y cubed. 2y cubed, that's the answer. Let's do 2 more. X to the power of 2, y to the power of 4, all in brackets to the power of a half. The whole term is to the power of a half. Same concept. We know that a power to a power to a power, they multiply. 2 times a half is 1. 2 times a half is 1, so it's simply x. And then we are working with the y. 4 and a half, 4 times a half is 2, y squared. So x to the power of 1, it's invisible, y squared. xy squared is our final answer. Simplifying this one, we have 9, b to the power of 4 and c to the power of 8, all in brackets to the power of a half. To the power of a index, it is a fractional index, a fractional power. So we follow the rules. 9 is a numeral to the power of a half. We follow the rules. We know the denominator goes outside, the numerator is inside, and 9 is our base, which means square root 9 to the power of 1, which is basically square root 9. Square root 9 is 3. That's done. Now we have b to the power of 4 to the half. We know that a power to a power, they multiply. 4 times a half is 2, b to the power of 2. And again, power to a power, 8 times a half, c to the power of 4. 8 times a half is 4. That is our answer. 3b squared, c to the power of 4. That is working with fractional indices. We know the denominator goes outside the root sign and the numerator inside the root sign above the base, and we work it out. It's that simple.